Okay, so for my last video with the mushroom house there, basically I'm going to try the Sentro one that my friend lent me. This one, the box actually does say Sentro on it, okay, so that's really nice. Okay, so here's the box there. Sentro is actually here, so that's why with the mushroom house, everybody keeps saying it's by Sentro, but I don't see anywhere where it actually indicates that it's Sentro. So from what I can see, obviously my friend opened this already, but so this is not exactly how it comes. It does seem to come with a bunch of yarn, which is great. Okay, I'm not going to use that yarn because that's for my friend. And it's got, let's see here what we got here. The yarn. We've got, obviously, the legs. I'm going to put the legs on afterwards. All right, as I put it together, it's got the little suction cups for the feet, for the, we got 4, yep, the suction cups. And it has the tension bar. It's got a bunch of darning needles. It has a screwdriver with screws, actually, so that'll be interesting for me to check out and put together here. Okay, and one thing I really like already, just to, before we even started, is that it does have a counter. I don't have to use that little finger counter that I used, right? And then you press it and it resets. So it's very similar to the mushroom house one from what it looks like. I think it's going to be pretty, it is larger in terms of, I don't know how many needles this one has. I'm thinking 40 or 48 because it's definitely bigger than the other one that I got. Okay, so let me get it set up and then we'll see what it is in terms of using it in comparison to the mushroom house, whether it's exactly the same, just a couple of differences to it, or whether or not because again, the issue with circular knitting machines is that you're going to have, depending on what size they are, you need different sizes to do different sizes of hats or tubes or whatever it is that you're doing, or panels that you're doing with them, right? So that's the kind of disadvantage of that versus the manual one. The manual one, you get all of them in a package to start with. These ones, obviously, you do not. But let's take a look and I'll come back once it's set up and then we can try it out. Okay, so basically the legs were easy to put on. Basically, they're just separate. There's a hole that you just kind of put them onto. There are little screws, so if you've got big fingers, you're going to have fun with that, okay? But you just put them into the hole. They line up, okay? Take your screwdrivers, put it in. So already just looking here in comparison to the setup of the mushroom house one, it looks like, there's some more, I don't know, quality parts, I guess you could say. I don't know, like you've got, you didn't have to screw in with the mushroom house one compared to this. The feet are pretty much the same for the, I just got to put them in here. Oh, I hate putting these things in. All right, let's see here. I'm going to do this off air, so I'm not swearing on camera here. But basically, you've got, these were not fun to put on the other one either. You're basically you've got the little hole here. You're just kind of trying to line it up. And then once they're on there, they're on there. It's not, some of them are more difficult to put on than others. It just depends on which one you're using there. So I'm going to try this on all 4. One of them will probably slide in quite nicely for that, okay? So let me put those on. I'm going to come back. And then we obviously have to put also the tension gauge on there as well, okay? Okay, these ones are harder to put on than the mushroom house one for whatever reason. They should, okay? They should basically be able to go all the way to, hold on, can you see that? All right, they should be able to go all the way through to the groove where it actually has a hole there, but they're really, really stiff. The one with the mushroom house, some of them are stiff, but if you tried it on different legs, it ended up working out. This one, not so much. So I don't want to break it because obviously this is my friend's. So I'm just going to put the paws on like that. Should hold, not an issue anyways, okay? So you've got this one here, which allows you to do either panels or it allows you to do the hats. For example, you've got your counter right here. You've got the crank over here, okay? And we need to do our tension. So let's see here, attaching the tension. Now the instructions are in English, and I'm assuming Mandarin. It's either Mandarin or Cantonese. I don't speak either, so I could not tell you. And the tension, there you go here. So let's take that. It's going to go here. Do we want it to, no, it needs to go this way. There we go. There we go. Oh, well, that was easy enough to kind of just slot in there. Okay. All right. So the cast on is going to be the same as the mushroom house. We're going to look for the. Ooh, I have to say the. Oh. Not sure what the problem is there. Going backwards is not an issue. It does feel a lot smoother. Let's try it this way here. Having the same problem. Okay. I'm not quite sure why that is an issue. I don't want to necessarily force it either. No. Sounded odd. No, hold on. Oh, hey, I wonder. Ah, hold on. I think I had my switch on the wrong way. Let's see here. But you know what? This feels so much smoother than the mushroom house, I have to say. The mushroom house, as I said, like when I opened it up, there was a lot of oil on it that I had to kind of wipe off. So, okay, so my problem was that, oh, I can't lift it up here. Let me put this back a bit. Okay. So I had it on the upper, I needed to be on the T, not the P, basically, and then it was not a problem. So I'm thinking that by putting it on the P, meaning panel, it would only go, you know, to a certain, you know, from your start to a certain part that you wanted, and then you're going back, kind of thing, right? I haven't done any panels at this point, but let's check out with the cast on there. So I'm going to go and find, because I don't know if I have enough of this to do it. But we can try. Okay. So considering that this looks like it's the exact same kind of make and thickness, we know that this kind will work on it also. Okay. I'm just going to use this one here just for, you know, to make life simple for myself. Okay. So we're going to put in a little tail on the inside. Oh, let's find our white guy here. All right. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. So, all right. And then you're just basically going in front, in back, in front. All right. In back, in front. And I'm just going to do that all the way around until I get there. You don't need to necessarily watch. But you do want to make sure that as you are doing it, okay, going in front and in back of these, all right, it'll start to get a little bit easier. And this one, actually, I'm not fighting with the crank the way I was fighting it on the mushroom house machine. So, you know, again, you know, it's very possible that with the mushroom house one, I had maybe, I don't know, we had a defective one. I don't know. You know, not having tried more than one, I have no idea. Okay, but again, it doesn't seem to say Sentro on it, so it could be a different company making a knockoff. I don't know, right? I'd have to do more research on that. And again, these are all my opinions, okay? In the end, you need to try for yourself, see what you like and what you don't like about each machine, okay? I just happen to have oh, there we go, okay? I was able to have, the opportunity, okay. All right, there we go. So hold on, I was in front. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put that down here. I'm going to put it on the loosest tension. We're going to see whether or not I did it correctly. It looks like every single has like skip 2. Let's see here. Skip 2. Okay. All right, let's take a look. All right, let's see what we've got. Just going to go slowly on the first one there, just to make sure that there's no drop stitches. Okay. Make sure that there's plenty of give on the string here. Okay. Okay, so it looks like everything is going fine, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. Okay. And again, once you know your machine, you know, you'll know what it can and can't take, basically. All right. But it looks like, and again, it shouldn't be making loud clicking noises. This is very quiet. I like this. It's very smooth. I really like this as well. And again, it looks like it was opened, you know, by somebody else, and it's possible it was tried by somebody else as well, which is maybe why it's initially smooth, because all the kinks were taken out of it. The Mushroom House one came straight out of the box, so maybe again, after a while of using it, it would get smoother in time as well. Okay, so I have to, oh. So as soon as it starts to get a little stiff, I'm like, okay, what's going on? But it's because, again, my ball is not unwound enough. And as soon as you start seeing, like, you know, this starting to lift, you know that there's some tension on it, okay? So I'm not really even needing to, like the other one, I actually had to put my arms through it to hold it because it was, you know, because of the difficulty with the crank, it was moving all over the place, right? But this one, this is not the case. And the counter is working beautifully on this. I don't know, again, you'd have to go like maybe on Facebook or to try checking on the internet, like the longevity of this machine in comparison to the Mushroom machine, for example. But again, it's still made of plastic. It's not metal, so it's certainly, you know, it's got a certain level of fragility to it that, for example, the sock machine that I bought, which is like all metal, is not going to necessarily have either, okay? And I'm not sure, again, with regards to replacement parts, how easy they are to find for that. So that's definitely something you want to look into as well when you're considering one of these machines. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm looking as I go, I'm looking around here to make sure there's no, you know, there's no drop stitches or anything like that. It looks okay so far. Okay. Now the problem I have with this though is that if I'm making a hat, like it's pretty holy, you know, for a hat. I don't like that necessarily. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try, let's go back to the white guy here, okay, and find him. Alright, let's see here. Okay. It seems that sometimes it gets the thread gets stuck on top. It's not a problem, but you can feel that there's a tension there, so you just want to push it off. Why it's doing that, I don't know, because it's got plenty of ability in terms of, like, there's no tension on the original. Okay, so let's try it with the second one here and see where the difference would be. Okay, so I'm going to put that one in. Okay, and I'm going to try with this one. So again, at the beginning, I'm going to need to be careful for that first row to make sure that it does actually latch on properly, okay? So the question was that last time, remember in the last video, I ended up removing because I'd actually used the green for waist yarn, and then I did the hat with the cream colored one. And then I tried to remove the waist yarn only to find out, if this is the hat that I did here, that the edges would unravel too. So that was not obviously the case, a good scenario there. So I'm thinking that if you want to just add a color, I would just put this in and then I would just, you know, start to rotate it around and it would add the color. But the base, the cast on base would still be here. If you want this to be your waist yarn because you've checked out to make sure that everything is good, the tension is good and so forth, I'm guessing you need to cast on again with this one here to make sure that this is your actual cast on, that you can remove the waist yarn. So I'm going to try that just for fun. I want to see what that does. Okay, so hold on a second. Yeah, so I'm going to do this side here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do the cast on because I want to see in front and in back. Okay, that if I wanted to actually have waist yarn to try out, whether or not this method works. Now, we're not going to do a proper hat this time around, okay, because I don't think I've got enough yarn for one thing. And I just wanted to check it out because it's not very different, as I said, from the Mushroom House one that I tried out previously. Okay, so, and again, I'm looking to see whether or not it's, you know, every two kind of all the way around there. All right, so in front, behind, until I get back to the white peg. All right. All right. And so back through there. There we go. Okay. So let's try and see. Okay. And I'm going to put it through the least tension one here. Okay. All right. Give myself plenty of room so it does not cause any issues. And then I'm going to go very slowly again just to make sure that everything is catching on that first row. Okay. So that nothing is getting missed. Okay? If you've seen my other videos, you know that I keep saying haste makes waste, because sometimes I haste and I make a lot of waste. So I try to, they say that teachers make the worst students, and oh my God, sometimes we do. Alright? Alright, everything seems to be catching. It's going beautifully. Okay? So now I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Alright? And again, I don't really need to hang on to it at all. I just don't know what to do with my hand, basically. All right. But again, just make sure that there's no tension on. You got lots of yarn. Okay. And I want to see whether or not this is going to work better in terms of thickness. I mean, there's no problems with the thickness of this particular yarn here. Okay, now I have no idea whether super bulky would work. Everything I've been told is that bulky does not work, and this one is considered bulky. So, hold on a sec here. This one's, now the problem with these ones that have like multiple plies is that sometimes when they're going over, they're getting caught and they're kind of splitting in there, so that does cause a bit of a tension issue. Sometimes you'll find that it feels a little bit kind of tougher, okay, but you'll notice that it looks like it's a split thread. Okay, it's not doing it on every single one, obviously, but I guess it just depends on how the peg actually comes up. Okay, so you can see, I'm not quite sure why, but you can see, all right, that first row here, there's big holes, all right, in comparison to in terms of the, even though I cast onto it, right, but there's a large hole at the beginning there, so I'm not sure whether that's going to cause issues when you actually take it off the knitting machine. So let's take a look. Okay, so as you can see, I'm up to row 34 here, so let me just finish off and find the white peg here. Okay, and where is it here? Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, so, oh, and I didn't leave myself enough, wonderful, okay, I didn't leave myself enough actually to be able to bind it off, okay, so generally what you want to have, okay, I should have just stopped it where I did stop it, okay, is that you want to go around fully once, and I didn't do that, but we'll see whether or not it leaves me enough to do it, because as I'm slowly taking it off, I'm cinching it, and it does allow for some of that yarn, because you'll have, you know, a lot left over. So let me just put this through here. Oh. And we have it. Okay. So same thing like the other one, okay, is that basically you're wanting to get, let me see if I can adjust the camera again. Okay, so basically what you want, all right, is you want to be able to pick this up. So you're going to be, I'm going to do this, okay, and I've got my little bent needle, darning needle. I find that easier than the straight needle, but it, you know, you use what you use, okay, and then you're just picking up basically right there. On the side there, okay? The one that is like that. So, now you want to advance, hold on, oops, hold on. Help you if you bring it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, there you go. Ah, great. Sorry. Here, let's go. All right, let's go with this. All right. In here. All right. Now, there we go. Pull it over. Okay. All right. So here, right, can do that. And this one here, do that. You do a bunch of them and then you can advance it basically, all right? All right. Okay, so I'm going to just advance it. You know what? I should have actually gone the other way. Duh. I think last time I ended up going this way, which is why it was undoing itself. So I may end up having a problem because I don't have enough actual length. But we'll see. Okay. Because this will only cinch so much. All right. There you go. But again, this is why you watch these videos, to watch me screw up so you don't, right? There's nothing wrong with going this way, as long as you have enough, as I said, enough leftover yarn, which I didn't really leave myself, so this could be, you know, a bit of an issue for me as time goes on here. Let's see here. All right. Oh, I don't know, maybe I might make it. Let's see. I'm being too enthusiastic about this. Now, I only did 35 rows. Obviously, if you want to do a hat for an adult, you're doing substantially more than that. Okay, let's see here if I can do this backwards. I'm not a very good backwards person. If I were to go back this way here. Nope. Okay. So this one here is already lifted. I'm just gonna, don't want to lose it, so I'm just gonna put something through it. Okay. I'm gonna go backwards here so I can grab this guy, because I am short on yarn. All right. There we go, and I'm going to put it through there. Okay. Now, in my mind, this should just cast off on its own, but we'll see. Okay, we will see. All right, let's see here. They're not coming off easily, I'll tell you. I would have thought they would just fall off on their own, but they're not. So, let's see here. And the question is, will they unravel? And they will not. Woo! Starting to worry there for a sec. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so let's move this aside. And this is going to make a terrible hat. Clearly, because it's not a hat. Okay. And so same thing as before. I would cinch it. Okay. All right. Okay. So you want to make sure. Now, again, I don't want, obviously, the stuff on the outside, so I'm going to kind of go through here All right, so I do all of this on the inside. All right, so I don't see, so it looks beautiful. All right. I don't typically do 48, on the manual loom. I don't remember what the largest one I've done. Okay, so let's get all of this out of the way. All right. So I think because I didn't go backwards, okay, I'm seeing these little poofs, okay, which is a bit of a, oh, actually they do, hold on. No, it is unraveling. Oh, that's a pain. I'm not happy about that. Okay. Hold on a sec here. Hold on. Let's open this up. This is this. Where's my needle? So I'm not quite sure. It's almost like one row undid itself, but it seems like... Oh, okay, one row undid itself, but I can still cinch it. Okay, yeah, whew, scared me there for a second. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so I can still cinch it, and I would tie it off, obviously, properly, okay? And I haven't tied it off properly. Now, the question is that could I take off this waste yarn, okay? Now, if you wanted to have two colors, like a brim, for example, you want to be using the same style of yarn. This is a much thinner yarn than obviously the bulky yarn is. So obviously it looks, it looks terrible. Like it's very, very thin. Okay, so you definitely want a bulkier yarn and a tighter tension. Okay, on this. But if I were to take this off, so if I find the original, which one is here? So this is the original one here. My understanding, okay, and we'll see whether it actually works or not, is that if you take out the first row, all right, it should, theoretically, and of course, things like that never seem to somehow work for me, all right, you should be able to just unravel it. Now the question whether or not, right, remember we recast on with the white, because when I did it with the mushroom house, it did not. It completely would have unraveled. All right, so let's see what we've got here. All right. Oh, so there, now it's just coming off by itself. Okay. Are the cats around? No. Okay, good. Oops. Oh, hold on a sec here. There we go. Well, it doesn't seem to definitely want to come off it very easily here. I think it's tangling with itself. All right. This is pain. There we go. Okay. So you're going to remove this yarn. I would probably cut off bits and pieces so it doesn't get all tangled up as you go along, but it's not a big deal. Like, it's waste yarn. Okay. So, here, I'm just going to cut this because it's a pain. There we go. Oops, sorry. Okay. Give a sec. All right. There we go. Now, what I want to know is whether or not this is going to cause it to unravel again, or if will this actually be properly. There we go. Let's see here. There we go. Make life easier. There we go. Okay, so what I want to know is will it unravel? No, it didn't. Okay, so it's not going to unravel. All right? So, okay. No. So it's not unraveling. So basically if you want to do waste yarn, you're casting on with the waste yarn, you need to recast on with your proper yarn, okay, to make sure that you get that first row okay, going properly once everything seems to be working okay. This first row though is pretty loose. Now it could be because of the way I cast onto it. Maybe I did it loosely. Maybe I should have done it much tighter. But it is definitely, or had it maybe on a tighter tension for it to happen. Now you'll notice that it just naturally curls up like this. Okay. From what I understand, is that if you do a double, for example, and you go back on itself, it's supposed to be able to, you know, you can flip it up to make it brim. I haven't done a double-sized tube in order to be able to try that. I just wanted to know whether or not it was enough that I wanted to invest in a Sentro machine to see whether I wanted to buy it and start experimenting with different stuff. So between the Mushroom House and the Sentro, I do prefer the Sentro, but between the circular knitting machines and the old-fashioned circular looms that you do manually, I do happen to prefer the manual loom. My arms don't prefer it, but I do prefer it because I've got more control. It does take more time, obviously. This one went, I did 35 rows fairly quickly, which is nice. So if you're trying to crank out a bunch of hats, definitely a lot nicer to do it with here. But again, I can only do stuff that, requires a size 48 for the pins on this one, whereas, I would have to buy another machine to get the size 40 and 32 and 20 and, depending on what machines are out there, in order to try. So that becomes quite expensive. Okay, I haven't tried any Addies. I have no idea. I mean, in terms of construction and so forth, that's something completely different. But again, these are all my opinions. I've tried it. That's just based on my experience. And other people may have totally different experiences. So let me know in the comments what your experience was with the Sentro there, and any issues that I have, you can help me solve them. That would be awesome. Oh, it looks like, it looks like I dropped a stitch and I didn't even notice that. So I could just take a latch hook basically and cinch that back up, but I didn't notice I dropped a stitch. Okay. All right. So I hope that helps a little bit, and in your decision if you want to go into the circular knitting route, and have yourself a great day.